Hey guys, I wanted to try to record a video of doing the Intarsia method. And I'm going to try to do this live instead of as a voiceover, so I hope that the background noise isn't too bad and that you can hear me okay. But I wanted to show you this row. I'm working on a blanket that only has 3 colors. However, it does require a lot of different little balls of each color, and I will show you why. So when you're doing the Intarsia method, you are, and I'm following a pattern. So when, I know you can't see my pattern, but when it's time to change color, I'll just tell you what I'm doing. But anyway, when you do the Intarsia method, you don't have to worry about cutting and burning your ends right then. We're going to do kind of a twist method and keep everything attached. So for this one, I'm starting out in my pattern has 1 on the end and then it has 2 white. So I'm just going to do my next 2 white. And you can tell, obviously, I've already been doing it, and I have, some yarn attached, and I'll explain what I do with that. So next I need 2 red. So right here, we have red already attached right here, and we've got 1 loop in between the working yarn and the color that we're going for. So it's okay to go ahead and loop this together. You'll understand that more in just a minute. So right now it's time for a color change. We're changing to red. So I'm going to take the color I was currently using, which is white, and I'm going to cross it over the top of red, and then I'm just going to pull the red up through this next loop. Okay, so I'm back. They're just crossed over each other, and you want to keep it fairly tight. We don't want any gaps here in between. Okay, so, and then I'm supposed to do 2 red. So there are my 2 red, and then I need another color change back to white again. So I can pull this white over. I'm going to take the working color of red over the top of the white. And I'm going to go up in that next loop. Okay, and I just need 1 white, and now I need another red. So again, I can cross the working yarn over the top of the color I'm going for and stitch my next stitch. Now on this blanket, I'm actually doing a few different stitches. Don't let that confuse you. I'm doing a purl stitch on all my reds, so nothing to do with the Intarsia method here. Okay, so I have 1 red, and now I need another white. So I'm going to take my working yarn color of red over the top of the next white, and I have 1, and it just keeps going. I have another red, so I'm going to take my white over the top of my red. And when you're reaching back, you see how you reach back and it's not really twisting, you're just taking the yarn behind it. When you're in that situation, it's usually when you're reaching back to pick up this next color, you actually have to wrap it around so that the yarn is wrapped over the other color. So I'll show you that again in a minute. I know that was kind of confusing. So let's see, I had 1 red and 1 more white. So again, if I were to just cross the red over the white and stitch right here, this isn't secured. It can just come undone. Do you see that? And it can also leave a big gap right here if you do it that way. So to avoid the gap and to avoid that not being secured, you're going to actually wrap it around enough times that here all you have to do is get that white back around there and get it up in its next spot. We'll do that a few more times. Okay, so we've got 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and now we need 2 red. Okay, so the last one we did was white. Again, we're going to reach back to get this red, which is our next color, and we want to wrap it around to secure it, and then I'm going to purl this stitch, which means I go in the top of it, and I've got 2 reds, so I'm going to purl my next red, Again, not anything to do with the Intarsia method, just how I'm doing this blanket. And then after my 2 red, I have 3 white. So I need to switch back to white. So I take my working yarn, or working color of red, wrap it around my white. That secures it. And we have 3 white. 1, 2, 3. Now we get to a point right here where I'm ready to switch to red, but I don't have any red here. So we need to add some red right here. We can't pull this over because the rule in the Intarsia method is you don't let this connection go over more than 1 loop. Okay, so you don't want to pull it over 2 or 3 or 4 loops because it's not going to it's going to pull on the front of your blanket. So you don't pull it over more than 1 loop. So I have got to put a red in here. And so I usually have just little balls all ready to go. And I think that's the hardest part about this Intarsia is just keeping yourself organized with all of these, you know, colors of yarn and balls of yarn going every which way. Oh, okay, so, sorry, I didn't show you that. Okay, so what you do when you are attaching a new color is, here's where you want the next color. You're gonna wanna pull it up in this loop right here. Here's your last stitch. So you're gonna take your new color and just place it in between those 2 loops. You're gonna take your working yarn again over the top of your next color and then pull that color over again so that your next stitch will be in red. Okay, again, we'll do that a couple more times. Let's see, I had red, 2 red, and now I need 4 white. So again, if this were still attached, that, or still long enough, that possibly might work, but that's kind of stretching it over more than 1 area. So again, let's put another white right here. So I'm just gonna take, this is what I usually do, as I need balls, I'll just pull it off of the skein, because you don't really know. I mean, I guess if you planned it ahead far enough, you might be able to figure out how many balls that you need at one time, but it kind of varies, so just easier to pull it out as you need it. Okay, so we're right here, and we need to change to white, and we don't have white close to us, so we're going to take our new yarn, place it in between the loop that we just finished and the loop that we're getting ready for. We take our working yarn of red, put it over the top of the new color, pull the new color up through the next loop, and then you can see on the back there, you can tighten that down because you don't want any gaps there. So you can tighten that down well enough so that keeps that tight. And I'll show you later what we're gonna do with all these loose ends. Okay, so I did my 2 red, and let's see, 1, 2, I did 3 blue, 2 red. Now I've got 4 white, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna scoot you guys down. Sorry, this is so raw and it's gonna be so unedited, but I'm hoping that it'll help you guys a little bit. It's kind of tedious, but it's very interesting. It's pretty fun. You do have to pay attention. I have figured that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I need 2 red. So again here, there's only between the yarn that I'm needing to get to and the loop I'm working in, there's only 1 loop in between. So it's okay to pull this yarn over, and you're gonna cross the working yarn on top of the new color. Get it pulled up there right, and just go ahead and pull up your loop here. And get everything tightened down there. I want it going in the right direction there. I think I kind of twisted it, but okay, so there's your twist over. We've changed to the new color, and we've got 2 red, and now again we've got white. So here's the thing with this, we can pull from here because we need white right here. So we can pull from this one right here, because that's again only going over 1, so you can pull it in either direction, but you just want to make sure you get your wrapping right. So you wrap it around, and this one's going to require another wrap to bring that white around and get it in the right spot. And up here you get a mess, but you deal with it at the end. And just, I kind of organize everything before I start a row, and then it's a mess by the end of the row, and then I just reorganize. Okay, so we've got our 2 red, or 2, it's 2 again, and then 2 red again. So our red is already here. We're going to take our old, cross it over our new. Again, I'm purling my red just on this blanket. So I've got 2 red that I purl. Oops. Okay, 2, 2, and 2. Okay, and now I've got 6 white. Now, here's where we run into, okay, so right here, there are 2 loops. The nearest white that I have attached is here, but there are 2 loops before the loop I need it in, so it's too far away. So we need to attach another color here. Okay, so we're going to attach another white. And where was it? That's the other thing with this, you guys. It's so easy to get lost because there's so many working yarns. A lot of times I will use my, well, it doesn't work if I can't find it. I just have a clip that I put, if I have to walk away, I put it on the loop that I'm working on. Otherwise, it's just really hard to find your spot again. Okay, so we need to join white right here. Okay, so we're just going to lay it in that spot. We're going to take the red that we were working on over the top of the white, wrap the white around, and according to my pattern, I'm doing 2, 3, I'm doing 6, 4, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to move you guys down again. Okay, where am I at here? Okay, so I just did my 6. And I need 2 red again. You see how this just, whew. I know, I used to stop and try to fix it every time because my OCD, it would drive me crazy, but now I just push it out of the way and we just keep moving on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so I need 2 red. I can utilize this red because there's only 1 loop between my current yarn and the color I'm going to. So I take my current over the top of my new and I pull up my loop here. I do kind of twist it so that it's going, you'll feel that, but you want it still to go in the right direction. The twisting will all be on the back. Okay, so that is 1, 2, and now I have 17 white. So I'm going to do my 17 white, and I'll scoot you guys down, and we'll finish at the other end. I adjusted the camera so you can look at that mess that you kind of have to look at and figure out how to mentally deal with when you're doing the Intarsia method. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Also, I cannot talk and count at the same time, so I had to stop and count that. Then I'm going to recheck myself just to make sure. Anyone that has worked on these pattern blankets, you know you cannot get off on your count. I count myself. I double check myself so many times because I might find myself 2 or 3 rows later, and then I find my counts off, so then I'm frogging a lot more than I would if I just figured it out during that row. So okay, so I've got 17 there. Okay, back down here with me. Quit looking at my mess. Okay, and so now I need 2 white. So again, I've got, 2 red. I'm on white right now. I've got my red tail right here. So I'm gonna take my working yarn and it's gonna go over the top of my next color. My red is, I'm working my pattern. This blanket has a purl stitch on my red. And then I need 2 white. So I actually, this is the loop I'm headed for, and this is the loop that I'm currently in, and here's my white, so I can use that. So I'm going to take my red back over here, and we're going to wrap it once and then wrap it again so that white is the color that's up, and that's what you're going to pull in there. So I've got 2, 3 white and 2 blue. Now, oh, look, I'm good. Okay, so I've got 2 blue. I thought I had to put another color on, but nope, there's only 1 loop between here and the color I need, so I can use this blue tail right here. So I'm going to take my white, which is my current color, over the top of the color I'm going for, and pull up my last 2 loops. Now, just like when you're doing any other blanket, I skip the last, I use this as the last loop of this row and the first loop of the next row. So we skip it as we go into this next row, and I only need 1 blue, so that is my blue on my pattern, and then I need red. So again, I'm going to take my blue, which is my last color used, my working color, cross it over the top of my white, which is the color I want. Now, another thing I'm doing on this pattern is I am doing a herringbone stitch on my blues, so you're going to see me twisting my blue. Again, nothing to do with the Intarsia method, it's just how I'm making this blanket. So don't let what my fingers are doing while I'm not adding a color confuse you. Okay, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4 white, and then I need 1 red. So I'm going to take my white over the top of my red and put it right through there. And then I need 19 white. So again, it's only 1 loop I'm going over, so I can take my red, reach back over the top of my white, but that's not going to secure it. So we're going to twist it that extra time to be able to get the white coming forward and secure these guys together in the back. And now I have 19, so I'll do that really quick. Okay, scoot you guys up. Actually, scoot me down. Okay, I've got the correct number there, and now I need 4 red. So I have a red tail right here that I can use. So I'm going to take my white, which was my color I was currently using. I'm going to wrap it over the top of the red and then pull the red over. And I need 4 red. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I need 2 white. I do not have a white attached here that I can use. However, and this is what happens, if you look down here, I've got a blue way down here that is too far to be used for anything. So every once in a while, I just go and cut these tails off. I'll be picking that up pretty soon anyway with another color, but it kind of cleans things up every once in a while if some of these are far enough down that it's time to cut and trim them back. But okay, but after my 4 red here, I need 2 white, and I don't have a white close enough, so I'm going to add on some white. I usually do this and then just at least try to keep these in balls. I keep these up here and keep them pushed back far enough so I've still got enough room to work. It's kind of nice to be able to throw the extra balls in and stuff. Okay, so again, I'm right here, and I need, after my 3 red, I need 2 white. So again, I'm just going to lay that new color that I'm switching to right in between the 2 loops, the one I was currently working on and the new one I'm going for. I'm going to take the red over the top of the white. That was my working yarn. Oops, try that again. The tail, lay it in the space between the 2 loops. Take the working color over the top of the new color and start with your new color. Okay, and so then every once in a while we do this. We stop. This is for sanity purposes. Stop and again, just organize everything. So many fuzzies everywhere. Don't have an answer for that. Okay, so we did our we have our 1, 2, 3, 4 red, and now we've got 2 white. So 1, 2 white. Now we have 3 red, and we can use this red because there's only 1 loop between the 2. So I'm going to take my current yarn over the top of the new yarn and pull up in the next loop, making sure that you're not missing any loops. Okay, and again, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then 2. Again, I do have a white right here. Let me pull you closer. Oops. Okay, and so it's time to switch to a white, and I have a white already attached. So I'm going to take my working color over the top of my new color and continue on with, okay, that was 3 red, 2 white. Now 2 red. I have my red here, so we're going to take white over red, pull the red up. I'm going to purl my red because that's what my pattern is for this blanket. Okay, had 2 red. Oops. And just see all this? Oh my goodness. If I could figure out a way to keep it in a ball, that would be something I would be interested in. It just really gets a mess. Okay, give me a minute. I'll be right back. You won't even see what I was doing. Okay, so this is the finished front of the blanket. You can see all of these places where we changed colors. So the first thing you're going to do is just push all of these just right in the hole that they're coming out of. Just push them right through to the back side. A lot of times I do this as I'm going along. Okay, so once you get all of those little ends pushed through to the back, then you flip it over and we're going to finish all of these ends back here. Oh my goodness, look at all of those ends. Okay, so guys, when you turn it over, it looks like this on the back, and the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to make sure that there's obviously no holes in the front. So anytime you have 2 colors that were switched on the other side, they're going to leave a little spot like that. So you're going to want to cross them over each other, and then I just go ahead and do one little tie. You can't see it on the back, it's not that big of a knot, but it takes care of that hole on the front side. Right there is where we are. So we do that, that secures it. I know I've got all these others going on here, but we're gonna just work on this one. So that secures it nice and tight. Now, a couple of different options. You could take some thread, this is just a nylon, white nylon thread that I've got here, and just take a little bit of this. Now, the reason I'm using a needle isn't necessarily because I'm going to sew this whole thing. I'm just going to use this to thread this through. on my spot that I'm working on, which is right here, all I'm going to do is just take the thread right where I tied those together, and I'm just going to tie a triple knot here. One, two, and 3 times around, and then just make sure that that they're still tied together nice and tight. You just tighten this down. One more knot to complete that, and cut those little strings, and now we're tied. You don't see the thread on either side. You've got them tied, they're nice and secure, but you've still got these 2 ends out here. So what you could do is you're going to want to secure those down as well. So you're going to just do the same thing as take your thread, just thread it through something close by there, and grab both ends and do another, keep both ends in there. And triple knot that. One, my fingers to work right. There's 1, 2, and one more time, 3 times through. Pull it nice and tight. Sometimes you use the needle, my fingernails get in the way sometimes. And now you've got it secured in both of those spots, so it's not going to come undone. It's secured there. You can't see the thread. You still need to trim this edge. Now, here's the thing. Whenever we trim any of this yarn, we run the risk of it fraying. And a lot of times the reason that when we use the burn method, the reason or the area that comes undone isn't necessarily where it's melted together. That's not going to come undone. It's the what we've created by cutting the yarn is we've created a weak area in it. So if that burn spot doesn't secure that cut from fraying, you're still going to get fray around your burn spots. You really have to make sure that there's no fray going on whatsoever. And that's whether you're using, the burn method or this method or any other. Now this is called fray check, and it's supposed to keep the ends from fraying. You just put a little spot right there on the core, and it takes 30 minutes to dry, and it's supposed to keep it from fraying. I don't know how well that holds up in the wash. It doesn't seem to me like it's probably a fix-all to that fray happening. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut some thread here, and we're gonna sew this other side down. And again, just pick a spot nearby. You don't want to have it too long, but you just want to secure it down. And so this area right here is not going to come apart, in the wash or anything else, because it is secured down. 2 or 3 times through. Make sure that's snug. Pull that nice and tight. One more tie there, and then trim your thread. And again, now we need to cut this back a little bit. So we cut that right there. Now, the second option is, which I think is probably a better option to keep these things from fraying at all, is to really trim that back good. And then do right back to burning the end, because I think that is really what keeps it from fraying. The thing is you can do it just a little bit there. You don't get that hard knot of putting 2 of them together, and it's going to hold a lot better than the fray check, in my opinion. And so you do all of that all the way around. You do still have a little bit of a burn spot here, but that's going to hold it, and that's going to keep it from fraying. And so that is another option. You do have the option of taking all of these and, tying them together. So again, you know, they're not going to come apart on the front. You just got to secure the back. You could burn these, you know, into, you know, the back in certain areas if you wanted to do it that way. If you didn't want to do the, use the thread and tie it, you know, you can certainly do that and then secure it, you know, here and here with a burn. So there's so many options, so many different ways to do it. But if you don't like to, you know, don't like to burn them together, then tie-in is definitely an option to do there. Let's do one more. I'm going to tie this one together. And again, I'm just going to take my thread. Oops. I'm going to use my big needle. And I use the big one so that, you know, I can see the thread going in there. And then again, I'm just going to thread that right through, tie those two tails in place. Oops, with the reason you tie a triple knot is because it'll hold immediately. That one was not a triple knot and it's already starting to loosen. So that's why you do the triple knot. And once you pull that triple knot tight, it's not going anywhere. Okay. So again, there's those two tied down. Tie the other two sides, like I said, if you want, or you could take the other two sides, go ahead and cut it. You're going to burn it anyway. You could burn the end and then just attach it to another spot on the back. It's not coming apart. It's not going to fray, and it doesn't, you know, there is a little bit of a hard spot there, but it doesn't leave it like it does when you are constantly doing it on the other side. So the way I've been doing is kind of combination. I've been tying it here, and then if I don't have a good spot to burn it into, I just tie it in both spots and then trim it. And like I did on the other one over here, I just burn the ends so that it doesn't fray. So I hope that helps. I know there's been a lot of question about how to do this Intarsia method. I haven't decided how to choose what blanket to use the Intarsia method on versus just a straight burn method, but I can tell you this took a lot longer to do this blanket using Intarsia method than the burn method, and I'm not finished. I turn it over and I still have a good deal of work to do here. So it definitely does take longer. However, if you don't want to use the lighter at all and you want to use some fray check and some thread, you can certainly do it completely lighterless and do it this way. There is another, that's one kind of fray check. Here is another kind that I've tried, Aleene's Stop Fraying. I just haven't used this long enough to know, you know, how well it holds up over time. I know this works. So again, just some more options for you guys. I hope that helps someone. Thank you.